evening, I call this meeting of Burlington County Board of Children's Freeholder School. Please rise to the flag salute and remain standing. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, help us to be receptive to the thoughts and challenges that come to us through prayer, through the printed page, and from the world around us. And help our leaders to find the best solutions to the problems that we face. We ask this in your name. Amen. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting is provided. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting, the public announcement, and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Arter.
Present.
Freeholder Belgar.
Here. Freeholder
Howard. Present. Freeholder Schwartz.
Present.
And Freeholder Director Ghana.
Present. Thank you, Mr. Drake. This time I'll entertain a motion for approval of the minutes of the regular public meeting of February 13, 2013. Moved by Freeholder Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Belgar. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Minutes are accepted. At this point in time, I'll entertain a motion for acceptance of the conference meeting minutes of February 6th and February 13th. So, moved by Freeholder Howard. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Belgar. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Moments are this minutes are adopted. This time, we'll open the meeting to the public for public comment on any agenda items. Anyone wishing to speak on the agenda, please come forward, state your name and address for the record. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Freeholder Authority, and I have just brief comments. And I for 2, 6. Got 2, 6, and 18. Be satisfied, okay.
Is this a refinance, Mr. Schwartz?
Yes.
All right, what this is a refinancing of our current debt obligation, not just the county of Burlington, but roughly 6 or 7 other municipalities within the county that have debt through the Burlington County Bridge Commission, bonds for projects that they have done or that they have performed. Rates have become more favorable in the open market at this point in time. So what we're looking at doing is taking this debt that was financed, some goes back to 2003, 2004,
That's exactly.
then some up to today, packaging it all together and refinancing it at a lower rate. The total estimated savings,
About $12 million.
the estimated savings is about $12 million, not just to the county, but to these 6 or 7 jurisdictions. Off the top of my head, I remember Edgewater Park. Do you have the names?
I do have this. Edgewater Park, savings of $238,390.
All of them.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
care.
I'm sorry.
The individual savings not so much, but the communities that are affected.
Communities that are affected is Township of Chesterfield, Edgewater Park, Evesham, Florence, Willingboro. Obviously, County of Burlington is participating. Township of Bordentown, Southampton, Chesterfield, Wrightstown. Sir, let me correct myself. It's not a $12 million savings. It's 11.86% savings for savings of about $5.7 million.
So that is something to. Any further questions on that?
Sure.
Number 8 or number 6?
Number 8.
Oh, okay.
What?
Number 8 is authorizing the board. We're changing our schedule. This is something I've spoken about before. In an effort of greater transparency, and give the staff more time to prepare their memos and certain things that need to come before this board. Instead of meeting every Wednesday for a conference and the second Wednesday and fourth Thursday for a public meeting as well as a conference, we are simply going to meet the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month, starting March 6th, if it's approved.
That would take time, right?
Could.
And can you clarify the final one, 18?
18, Mr. Brickley, these are the types of change orders that we like.
This is a change order decrease in the amount of $11,060, an establishment of the completion date for Closed Loop 5, which is our fiber optic program that we use to monitor the traffic lights in the county.
So where did we get that back, please? We saved that one.
You find it like T1 or like files?
Five.
Five. Okay. I got some other question on the next section. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Any further public comment on agenda items? Hearing none, I'll close this portion of the meeting to the public and move on to the resolutions. At this time, I would move for unanimous consent, resolution items number 1 through 12. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder Howard.
I'd like to make a motion. I would like to move that we remove from the consent agenda 1, 2, 6, 7, and 11.
And I'd like to move that we also remove item number 7.
7's already been, that's been moved. There's a motion on the table.
Yeah, for 7.
For 7, okay.
Is there a second to that motion? For discussion, is there a second to that motion? I'll second it.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? To discussion, resolution number 1.
So I have some questions on the bill list. Mr. Troy, I'm assuming these go to you, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Page number 3, about halfway down the page. Alimo, there's engineering services on there. What, one says general engineering, the other one is improvements, human services building. What were those improvements and what was the general engineering?
The one for human services was masonry, site wall, and building envelope restoration. Is that what?
Yes, we currently have a project to restore the exterior of the human services building.
And the second was, it was project in resource recovery. 75.
The general engineer at the LIMO was the reproduction of documents that were necessary for a permit modification we're going forward with the state on our, at the landfill.
Page number 9. About, I guess, a third of the way down the page. I don't know if I'm going to say this right. Bouchard Horn. There's on there for $12,000 in professional services. What was that?
Riverton Road and Barry Boulevard Design and Engineering.
Safety improvements, it's a project for safety improvements at Branch River and Barry Roads.
Okay. Good thing I have these tabs. Taking them longer. Let's see, page 14. About 3/4 of the way down. Clyde Latimer and Son. $156,000 and $156,751.
Yes. This is the landfill solid waste. This is the leachate storage.
We're currently, they're the contractor that's installing the third 1,000,000-gallon leachate storage tank. This is just a monthly payment for the construction services rendered.
Okay. So we're going to see that on a monthly basis?
Probably for about another 2 months.
Okay. So I won't ask next time, Rachel. Page 47. The last entry on there, Occupational Training Center, $168,523. Is this for
Janitorial services.
just the janitorial of all the county buildings?
Yes.
Is that what that is? Okay. Moving right along, page 58. Rotating machinery services, total of $14,582.
This is capital. This is sewage injection pumps out of the human services building.
Okay. Page 78, about halfway down, T&M Associates, just says professional services, and it totals $11,409.
This is capital. This is engineering. This is Burlington intersection improvements.
Okay. is that the company that actually does the improvements?
T&M is a consultant.
Okay. And then the last one I have is on page 80. Oh no, there's two more. Page 82 and 83. The last one on page 82 and then the first one on page 83. I don't know what that, it says CHG GM to proper account for 2013, it looks like.
This was an internal mechanism. We're charging the salary back, and this was an internal that we had to do.
What does that mean?
Salary was being charged in the wrong area, so we moved it between the two accounts, and we actually deposited funds into the right account.
Okay, so what you deposited back in the other account was the same as what is taken out of this account?
That is correct.
Okay. And then is that the same for the next entry on page 83 for that $4,551.72? Same situation there?
Yes, it is.
That's all I have. I think that Freeholder Schwartz may have some
I have some
questions.
questions on the dated February 22nd, both the revenue summary and the expenditure. On the revenue side, on page 1, about halfway down, there's a rental that we got. It says, well, in January we got almost $28,000, and this month we got $48,000 plus. Could you tell me what who's paying us that money? Sounds like a nice revenue stream.
The rental payments we received basically from two sets of properties, the Kintock Group.
Yeah, Ken talked, we talked about last meeting.
Yes, and we have rental properties that is through the parks out in by Smithville. There's houses that we rent out there, and rental payments come in that
We
way.
rent them to who?
Two
people?
tenants. That,
Yeah,
The tenants?
yes,
Yeah.
we
Landlords?
have residential properties that we do lease out. I think there are presently 4 properties that are leased out. There are often times when we've acquired properties as part of an open space acquisition that there's an existing home with a tenant and we honor that lease.
Okay, so basically we're landlords, we own houses, essentially, what you're saying.
Correct.
yes, we do.
Okay. Under expenditures, I just have a question for human resources. On page 1, overtime, both, it looked like in January it was $419.74, nothing in February. So I assume I don't know what that overtime was for. And human services, anybody can answer that tonight?
What department?
It says HR, $419.74 in overtime.
Yeah, I have a staff member that is working overtime. I had a death in my staff in November.
Okay.
And so I have to have the other staff kind of pick up. We still haven't even cleaned out the individual's desk yet. So I've authorized a member of my staff to work a little bit overtime to get that office cleaned out. It's been a gradual process. Being short-staffed, we're pretty pressed.
But can I just follow up on that? It's the same amount of overtime in January as February? They work the same amount?
No,
No,
it's
it's
January.
No, it's kind of,
Oh, I see. I'm looking down the total one. Okay, that makes sense.
And then I have a question on page 3, in workers' compensation. Both, there's 2 lines. One is, I guess it's the self-insurance. One is for, looks like $92,940 for February. Previous month, looks like it was $77,000. For self, yeah, there are 2 different lines, but I'm kind of rolling them in because it looks like they're both for workers' comp cases. Is this outstanding workers' comp cases that we owe money on?
They are.
They are. Do we have a plan in place to decrease our workers' comp exposure?
Yes, we are. I'd be happy to speak to that.
Okay, good.
I'm also, as treasurer on the insurance commission, which was formed last year, basically pulling together ourselves, Bridge Commission, and social services. One of the things that we have as a part of that now are claims management people, people who investigate claims, people who are following up on treatments, people who are following up with medical directors. All of that is discussed in executive session during our monthly meetings, and then there is a protocol established on how we're going to go forward with these, with the intent to bring the employee back as soon as possible, but also at the same time to protect the interests of the county in terms of making sure we're monitoring the case as it moves through.
And do we use a specific company that we send our injuries or non-emergency
We
injuries
do,
to?
and we just changed it on, I'll get that to you.
Okay, thank you. I have some more.
Can I just follow up on that? Those expenditures, are those indemnity payments or premium? Well, I guess it's not premiums, it's self-insured. Are those all indemnity payments or cost of?
Yes, they're workers' comp payments that we made.
Okay.
From the time the pool was established going forward, the pool will make those payments, but there was claims before the pool was established, and we still pay those out of our balances.
So, but these expenditures aren't the cost of administering or, you know, the administration fees or anything like that? Okay.
On page 8, there's a Buttonwood, there's nothing listed for Buttonwood, however, below Buttonwood, there's $31,653 for an audit. Is that the cost report? And
Yes.
is this the end of Buttonwood? Will we see any costs for Buttonwood, or is this it?
There's no more costs related to any audits of Buttonwood we get closed out.
So this is it?
This is it.
Okay, thank you, and let's see if I had some more. On page 9, lease payments, $839 for January. What did we lease? What does that represent? It might be a lot of things, I realize that, but it's just in one line item, it's not broken out per department.
I'm sorry, Carol, page 9.
Page 9, toward the very bottom, it says lease payments in January, $839,135.81.
That's outside agency grants for all.
That's outside?
Lease payments of $7,812.
I'm sorry, above that, so what is the 839,000 plus?
They're outside agency grants. Good.
That's right.
The grants that we give, because it says lease, that's what maybe, but I.
So that's-
That's the line below.
Oh, outside agency grants, you're right. Okay. And then on the last page, page 10, there's something called revolving fund. What's the revolving fund?
This is Fund 55. Revolving fund. This could be the home development program, where money goes back into the accounts as people are paying off loans. I believe that is Fund 55, but I would check on that, but I believe that's what it is. Payments coming back in, and then money goes back out the other way.
Thank you, you're very helpful.
Thank you.
I just have one last question on the revenue report. On the first page, about a quarter of the way down, the interest on investments and deposits, it looks like there's a negative entry for both January and February. How does that work?
$11,463 for January, $13,339 for February.
Well, so I thought that, so where it says interest on investments and deposits, it's not the number above that?
No.
So that's a negative entry there for fines, weights, and measures? So then can you explain that? Whatever that negative entry is, it does not seem to be a revenue, so.
Again, sometimes on a negative expenditure, obviously we've done a refund out, or we did an interfund transfer to move dollars from one place to the other. And basically, it's accounting true up, but I will investigate that particular one. There's probably some kind of a true up that we did between two accounts.
Okay, if you can just get back to me on that.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. Number 2, I just wanted to confirm, I think we already discussed during the public session with regard to the sale of these bonds. I just want to make sure that this is a fixed rate and not variable rate.
It is a fixed rate, and if you allow me, Freeholder, I can give you an update. The bond sale, if all goes well tonight, will go off tomorrow at 9:30. We've been watching the markets all day today. Raymond James will be underway. We're trying to see the market conditions to try to peg where the interest rates will be, and we develop our strategy in terms of where we're going to go. We're going to target institutional entities because of the size of this. The pluses that we have going so far, based on our discussions today, there's a supply-demand imbalance, so we're going to take advantage of that. The other issue also is that there is an interest in premium bonds by institutional investors, particularly New Jersey paper. So we've got a very positive feedback. We think we'll have a very successful sale tomorrow. And I will report back as I'm required to do of the sale, the proceeds, interest, yield, et cetera, at the next meeting. At the same time, let me just comment before it goes out. There was, as you may all know, there was a bond rating that was done for the county. This was the Moody's and S&P. And today we got back from Raymond James on the price call that the negative outlook had no impact on our pricing, which was excellent news. They are very interested in New Jersey paper, and we still hold a very strong rating. And I think, you know, all things considered, we'll have a very successful sale tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Number 6.
Did I say 6? Oh, I did say 6, okay. So I just want a little bit further explanation about this. First of all, thank you, Bill Stewart, for getting me the information with regard to number 6. It was helpful, and I understand that this is regarding the 2012 state contract purchases under the $36,000 threshold. So on the second to the last page of the report, there are 2 entries by Mechanic Napa that exceed that $36,000 threshold. One is for $75,000, and the other one is $62,724. And I'm just wondering how that occurs if those exceed the $36,000 threshold.
I don't have the attachment of Freeholder, but I will look into that. I don't know how they got on there, whether they were in aggregate, but I will look into that.
So my request would be if maybe we could table at least those 2 entries until we find out more, because I don't know. That seems to be a fairly large number beyond that $36,000 threshold.
We can do that. And I'll report back on that the next week.
Is that okay?
Well,
We
require a
can-
motion.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out how to bifurcate 2 lines
Yeah.
within the house. I don't feel comfortable tabling.
The entire thing?
No, because people need to be paid.
Mr. Troy, can those 2 lines be broken out which is an attachment to the resolution, which would be the backup material, and those 2 items which you would pull out of there, can they be modified right on the backup material on the resolution?
We can do that.
Director, we have the resolution, we have the resolution with attached backup material on there, which lays out, which is, at least I believe, really with the various numbers on each particular item. We would pass the resolution, move the resolution with the exemption of those 2 items you more particularly described. Mr. Troy, upon assuming the board passes the rest of it, would restructure the backup material to reflect that those 2 items would be.
So I'd like to make a motion for what Mr. Nelson just said.
Is that clear enough for you?
It's clear enough for me. I'll work with Mr. Troy on that, and we'll confirm with the board that that is.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Bellegarde, second by Freeholder Schwartz. All in favor, so we're not moving the resolution. We're sending. Right. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. All right, those 2 items are specifically removed. The rest of the resolution remains intact. Number 7.
I have some questions about item number 7. This is specifically in regards to the purchase of the lower board.
Yes.
Okay, then I have questions, and I don't know if there's anybody here who can answer my more questions tonight. If not, we might have to table it till something else.
Freeholder, I have some backup on this.
Okay, so
As best I
let me
can.
start rolling with my questions.
Very good.
First of all, I would suggest that as Amy Bellegarde is the freeholder liaison with the medical examiners, it probably should have been moved as a resolution for her to move. Having said that, I'm questioning what our need is for this vehicle. How many bodies does it take?
It takes 20.
20 bodies
Yes.
to restore this. Is it built to order, or is it?
It's custom built to order. It has a basic trailer configuration.
I wasn't sure if this was a used or a new, because
No,
it said,
this would be brand new.
so brand new. So, okay, so do you know what kind of chassis? Sometimes they put a different box on it will be a Ford chassis with a metal box or whatever. Who has the expertise in this?
Basically, we had a spec, and we spec'd it out, and it's built a spec. I can certainly give a copy of the spec that we gave to the successful vendor.
Okay, and why do we need this?
I actually had a meeting with George Hughes from the medical examiner's office. I think it's my opinion, it's an unfortunate thing that they need because of, what it's for. But I guess in these uncertain times, and the fact that, there was a grant to pay for this, and the medical examiner has put himself, in this situation where in case of an emergency or such a disaster, Burlington County would be equipped to help out or to handle, some major disaster in the area.
So basically, we're getting this through a grant, there's no expenditure on our part?
There's no county funds involved at all. This is through a grant that was secured by the medical examiner's office. It's the Tuckerdale Forensic Service grant.
Because but then there's going to be cost us of the upkeep,
There will be.
the fuel, refrigeration money.
I'm hoping.
So we don't have to use it that much.
Well, I'm hoping Freeholder that, we're not going to, and obviously there is a cost involved in maintaining it. I believe the idea was to store it either in the garage or somewhere else. The refrigeration units and everything has a warranty to it to ensure that it continues working. But again, it's one of those things that, we're purchasing, but let's hope we never have to use it.
Because there's a federal program called DMORT, Disaster Emergency Mortuary. That's why I'm surprised to see this. But if it's a free giveaway,
Yes.
I'm just concerned about the upkeep.
We believe that because of the new condition, upkeep to be minimal.
Okay.
And actually, I had this conversation. I said, well, we're going to have to drive it around every once in a while. I said, just don't drive it through someone's neighborhood or something. So again, it's just one of those things that is reality of our times. And because it was grant funded and we applied for it, and we actually came within lower than $5,000. We had a $39,000 grant, and I believe the cost of it was $34,500.
Right, and does the person need a CDL license for this in regards to the size, and if so, do we have anybody? who
Well,
has
it's just
that?
a trailer. I don't think
It's
it's
a
a
trailer,
It's not mechanized unit.
it's not, so it's a refrigerated trailer.
Yes,
It's not a moored, it's a
No,
storage
no, no.
unit.
It's a storage unit that's custom designed with
Shelves?
shelving that slide out and stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Number 11.
On number 11, I just need to say that I just need to recuse myself from the vote on just the portion relating to the Burlington County St. Patrick's Day parade.
Thank you. Any further comment? Hearing none. All in favor, so indicate for resolution items number 1 to 12, so indicate by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The resolutions are adopted. Order order.
At this time, I would like to move for the unanimous, I would like to move for unanimous consent items number 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Moved by Freeholder Auger, seconded by Freeholder Howard. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. Freeholder Howard.
Thank you, Director. This time I would like to move the unanimous consent of resolution 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Howard, seconded by Freeholder Delgado. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolutions are adopted. At this point in time, there comes to me as director to appoint members to the Cultural Heritage Fair Advisory Committee for 2013. They are directors' appointments, and those members shall be Louise Callaway, Karen Chagunas, Diana Dorman, Lynn Lanier, Patricia Millen, Antonia Roman, Claudia Teal, Shirley Vinitsky, and Vera Wright. Questions from the press?
I'm good tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment. At this portion of time, we'll open up the meeting to the public. Anyone wishing to say anything on any topic, not necessarily on anything, may come forward, state their name and address for the record.
Good evening. My name is Cynthia Adams, and I'm the president of the Burlington County Institute of Technology Education Association, and I represent 265 members. We have been working with our fullest commitment to support the 2,052 students who attend our two campus schools in Medford and West Hampton. As of today, we have been working without a contract for 607 days. This does not show respect for the talents and efforts that our members provide each and every day. Frankly, this lack of respect is taking its toll on the morale in our schools. I am here today with the support of our members to let you know this and to ask you to come to the negotiations table and settle a fair contract. A contract that is in keeping with the sentiments of the other school districts in our county. A contract that shows respect for our members, their talents, their efforts, for the students that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you. You did have a list also, Mr. Gracie.
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Field of Board, Paul Grayson, 12 Burlington Drive, Ohio. I'd like to follow up initially with a reference to the prior speaker. I'm sure this board is aware of my resume. I'm sure this board is aware of the fact that I've discussed over the last 2 years the need to closely monitor the combination of the Burlington County Special Services, Burlington County Vocational Technical Schools Boards of Education. I clearly explained to you why. What is clear to me, and hopefully this board will come to understand, this is not about politics, is when you're appointing members to the Board of Education, particularly a Board of Education so specialized, that has political connections, and are not well qualified or versed in those disciplines which I have discussed and documented to the point of nausea, this is exactly what you get. What I am hoping is this board will once again consider the appointment of Paul Gracie to the board, particularly because my qualifications are out of sight and out of mind. I understand the population, and I was one of the best teachers, in fact, the teacher of the year in the district. Aside from doing the initial field research for the creation of the district. And my forever mentor is the infamous Dr. Carmen DeSilvo. It continues to astound me to understand why this board has a personal problem with who I am instead of what I bring to the table as an educator. Because I understand what is happening in Burlington County Special Services. I understand the impact it's having at OSSI and Votech High School. However, this board has not provided me with the serious consideration that I'm due. I hope it's not because of my free care and my mannerisms that I've dealt with my entire life. Perhaps you've seen the most recent movie featuring Bradley Cooper, and if you have, you'll probably come to understand it. But aside from that, my qualifications speak for themselves. So what I'm hoping is you put politics aside, and the next time you appoint me to the Board of Education, not because I need the position, because I understand what it is, and I have a deep-rooted commitment, not only to Burlington County Special Services, but also to vocational schools, because you probably know that Dr. DeSilvo, before he became superintendent of Burlington County Special Services, was a teacher at the Burlington County Vocational Technical High School. I hope it's considered. I have come to this board for the last 3 years and addressed the idea of a private-public partnership and the creation of a Center of Hope for the Homeless. I created over the past 2 years Racing for Change and We Care Homeless. My nonprofit organization, and I haven't received 1 red cent, and you know what? It's not about the money with me. Assisted Helen Giamatti and her daughter Nicole. In fact, one of the fundraisers that Racing for Change and We Care Homeless conducted was able to provide Nicole with some school equipment and a brand new school outfit so she could start the school year. What I also was able to do, I was able to take $50 and buy some clothes at a thrift store for Nicole and her mother, and I was also able to buy Nicole some new clothes for Christmas. And the beauty of it all was, I was able to go to the home, which is no longer there, which was in essence, and I discussed this matter with the board as well. I've been to that spot at least 5 times, and I addressed it in an open forum where I clearly stated that facility was owned by a slumlord, Tom Engel. I've addressed that with this board as well. Nicole is 9 years old. She saved lives yesterday. I spoke with her mother today, and she's on the verge of a breakdown. I have addressed, and I understand the position the county administrator takes. I understand the position the board of freeholders take. And I'm not about politics. I'm about people in change. I addressed this issue. I challenged this board 3 years ago. I presented to your Freeholder Director Gargano an outstanding homeless report that I was involved with through a coalition I belong to, based on a week I spent at the #1 homeless center in the nation in Sarasota, Florida. I asked Freeholder Gargano, it's a matter of public record, I've addressed this openly, there's at least 2 board members that are aware of it. I asked Freeholder Director Gargano, who I respect, to share it with the board. It was never shared with the board. This was a year and a half before your 10-year plan that you think is a stamp of approval and righteous. Helen Giamatti and her daughter, over the last 2 years, which was the creation of Bracing for Change and We Care Homeless, have fell through the cracks and could not receive any services short of what I provided because they don't qualify. However, as we reflect today, a center of hope, and I present it to you, and I'll continue to present it to you because I'm not going to stop until it becomes a reality. The creation of a private-public partnership to create a center of hope for Burlington County's homeless. Now, today, those 10 individuals would not be in another flea-bitten motel provided by American Red Cross. They would be in a center of hope. Helen, who's on the verge of a nervous breakdown, will be receiving therapeutic intervention. Her 9-year-old child, who saved some lives, has some emotional problems and would have received some some therapeutic intervention as well. I've talked about this. What I'm asking you as a board, and I respect the administration, they're doing a credible job. Let's be real about it, folks. Your administrators reflect the philosophy of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. They're not fools like I am. They're not going to bite the hand that feeds them. So what I'm humbly suggesting, if you honestly believe that your 10-year plan is better than the plan I submitted before that plan was approved, meet with Helen, her daughter, and those other residents that no longer have a slumlord place to call home and discuss both proposals. I know you care, but I'm not interested in your sense of caring. I'm interested in you going beyond that. I'm not interested in is it politically correct. I'm not interested in what I've heard for over 20 years. I personally know a number of ex-freeholders. I personally have good relationships with at least one ex-county administrator. This discussion has been going on and off for 20 years. And what I've been told, I don't say anything I can't prove. What I've been told is, hey man, it's a good idea, Paul, but it's not happening in our county. We don't want those folks from Camden. We don't want those folks from Trenton migrating into Burlington County. You know what I said? That no longer holds good, because folks that are a paycheck away from being homeless is a reality as we speak today. You can create a private-public partnership if you have the inner fortitude and will to make a difference in Burlington County. For, I guess it's only now 825 homeless folks. Let me tell you what it really is. It's beyond that. I'll tell you why. Because there are a number of homeless folks who do not come past those ways. So I hope, because I know you care, but I hope you put your politics aside, and when I'm showing you ways to create a program that can become one of the best programs in the state of New Jersey, you know what? It's time to stop attacking the messenger and start hearing the message. And there's something else I'm hoping I can do for anyone that's here. Helen called me just before I left in tears. She needs help. Her number is 609-251-8356. What Bracy for Change and We Care Homeless is doing is another benefit next Sunday, where every penny will go to those 10 residents. That's what I'm doing. You are leaders of the county. I'd like to address something else that's really important to me. In case you haven't figured it out yet, I have a number of behavioral disorders that have plagued me my entire life. But in spite of that, I've done amazing things. And it's an ongoing process. The truth of the matter is, I'm always going to be this way. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of the disorders I bring to the table, because I use my disorders to make change with the most difficult populations, particularly youth at risk. I have addressed this with the county sheriff. I've addressed this with the Board of Freeholders. And I'm going to create an opportunity for you to conclusively demonstrate to Burlington County this is not about politics, this is about people. I know you received Otis Way. I purposely sent it to you. Governor Christie, the county prosecutor, Judge Bookbinder. I've already received feedback from Governor Christie's office. We're going to have a subsequent meeting. I've not only presented the idea, I can show you how to fund it. I'm not going to share that idea here because it's highly controversial. But C. Edward Coop was a highly controversial person as well. And what he did is sometimes he deviated from what is considered normal practice in order to save lives. He did that. And he became the Surgeon General. Burlington County has grants for a number of, let's get our wannabe gangbangers. I have a son now, my son Andy, my youngest son. He now makes recommendations to the parole board. Believe it or not, I have sons who have degrees in criminal justice. When he was growing up, he was one of those white boy borough wannabe bangers. But because of folks that cared about him, and the fact that he was able to redirect a lot of his aggressive energy through wrestling and football, he was able to get a short-lived football scholarship until he blew out his knee, and the rest is history. Now he's making recommendations to the parole board. I spent the nucleus of my career dealing with the most difficult populations and loving every minute of it because we understood each other. That's why I was so successful. It had nothing to do with what I learned. It had to do with what was in the soul and what I brought to the table. And it was all about real. Not about poppycock, but about real. The bottom line is this. Doty's Way is an innovative, proactive intervention program for youth 9 to 15. I'm not asking for any favors from this board. In fact, I don't know if I mentioned it, I think I did. My salary over 3 years is going directly into the program, because if I actively address, we don't want pay to play, we don't want political patronage. What we want are those that have programs that are innovative, that are going to meet the needs of the county and not please the parties. Doty's Way does that. What I'm hoping, because I'm targeting I'm not interested in how we're going to get them. I'm interested in stopping before they become 15. So I'm targeting youth from Mount Holly, Willingboro, Burlington, Beverly, Browns Mills, and Pemberton. Yo, that's where your bangers come from. And I'm providing a proactive intervention program. But before I close on this, it pleases me immensely to introduce to you the President and Chief Financial Officer of Village Way, Martin Joseph. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with this. Freeholder Donnelly, I appreciate deeply what you're doing. I honestly do believe you're trying to become more transparent. I mean that sincerely. I am going to try to temper mannerisms that are within me. Bradley Cooper played me well. Played me well. But what I'm not going to do is refrain from aggressively pushing issues that mean something and will positively impact residents of Burlington County. I'll tell you why. Maybe tonight we come to a final understanding of who I am. Burlington County means a lot to me. The Burlington County Freeholders mean a lot to me. Because without Burlington County and the Burlington County Freeholders, I'd be dead. I was in an orphanage because my natural father and we were coming from Green, which is why money means nothing to me. Attempted to kill me. And what my mother did at that time was she had to face a difficult decision. I was in a Catholic foster home, and my sisters were in Catholic. I was in a Catholic orphanage, and my sisters were in Catholic foster home. Unfortunately, they were abused there, and I cried myself to sleep. This is during my age, during the age of 3 to 5. And they tell me, and it is true, the first 5 years of your life are impressionable. The point I'm making is this. At the time, my mom was finishing a master's degree, her first degree from the University of Pennsylvania, working 2 jobs. My aunt, who the year before lost her eyesight for a year, and my mom's mother died when she was 12. So my aunt, in essence, was raising my mom. My aunt wasn't able to continue to work at her previous job. The Burlington County Freeholders opened the opportunity through Councilman Broadbent. See, the way it used to work is your local board leaders would go to the county and talk about real issues affecting people, and then, believe it or not, there were opportunities provided, which is all I ever asked. She was provided an opportunity to work at Buttonwood Hall as a licensed practical nurse and worked there for 25 years. My mother had an opportunity to accept the position after she left Penn at Buttonwood Hospital. The rest was history. But what it did is it created an opportunity for my mom and my aunt to buy a house in Burlington so her son and her 2 daughters could come home and we could be united as one. My father, who's not my real father, was a close personal friend of Ralph Nett and was one of the original administrators of the Burlington County Health Department. So you know what, guys? Burlington County means something to me. What the Freeholders did for my family means something to me. Coupled with what I've already done to continue to select. So what I'm hoping is now that it's clear that we don't continue to deal with the perception. Because what you see and how I convey myself is not what I am. If you want to really know what I am, look beyond that paper. Because you know what? On that resume, that means nothing to me. That's only a thumbnail sketch of what I do. And as far as I'm concerned, it means nothing. I only remember my failures. I expect success. And all I'm asking this board to do is put the people first. There's no reason why you cannot have a private-public partnership and create a center of government. There is no reason the people of Burlington County can elect board members that serve on educational boards, not politicians. If you do what other freeholder boards did, because I know that, Burlington County always had a Republican-controlled freeholder board for the most part. over 90% of the boards were Republican controlled. But they didn't battle like the previous boards have. And I must say, in all fairness, Freeholder Donner, I am deeply impressed with the dialogue that you're extending. And I'm hoping it goes beyond that. Because if it does, you have a chance to prove to Burlington County that the jive time political games that have impacted this county for far too long will end. And you can represent your political viewpoints. What you want to do is put the needs of Burlington County first. Because you know what? You help my mom, you help my aunt, you help my pop, and you help me. There's other folks out there that need help too, right now as we speak. Thank you.
Mr. Malonis?
Congratulations to everybody. I think you guys are doing a super job. Really like the job that you did in this library. It's a beautiful place to go. And I'd just like to ask you a question. Can we get maybe 3 or 4 hours a night? Open the library 3 or 4 hours a night. We got some kids 13 to 20. Sometimes they don't have any place to go. And they can go to the bar, they can, and I just wonder if we can open that library for about 3 hours a night to give a chance to some of these people that at night they like to go to the library, and some of these people that work around the day, they can go at night.
Send a request over to the library to see if in fact they have the ability and financial wherewithal to open one of those nights. I thought they were open in the evening.
Yeah, I've been open one night. I'm looking it up on the internet now.
Okay. I think it was one night. I thought they were, yeah.
Yeah, I've been there up to 8:30.
But I like to see, there's a lot of kids that they're in jail, and we spend $100 a day to keep them there, to give it a lot of food, the cops, and I think we can use that for the library there. And I hope you consider that. I see a lot of kids that they like to go there, and the last minute they say, well, they close in the library and they don't have no place to go. And I even volunteer myself to maybe to guard, be a guard there or something. But I like to see something for these young kids in the future, instead of seeing them going to jail. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Starting from under the president, acting like president, the status of the council about to down to the ground, what the hell? But, keep it in there. Well, I think, there's already, shelter and stuff. I don't think people live there.
Where?
The hotel fire that Paul referenced that burned down, was it Everton, Paul?
Well, there was,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, there would be shelters.
The Red Cross's place.
The Red Cross takes care of the issue.
Some of them like the first person belonging like also like for the grandma or something like that comfort or
We'd have to ask the Red Cross. What I understand is anyone living in a dwelling, but in fact, it's protected by the Red Cross.
I just know there's that people that window and it was on the Spanish government. I said, oh, I could tell the people what's going on. That's safety of that part. Second, what was the cost of repair of the knee or the bypass?
One of the bypass, looking at what?
The knee,
Do you have any idea what the guardrail replacement was on the bypass that's breaking?
What the accident was?
Yeah, how much it costs?
Well, how much it cost? We repaired it now, so we maintain materials ourselves. So I don't have that.
It was much less expensive as we did in the past.
Like I said, I go there every day to work and see what it is. Less than 6 months was bad. Second is, I heard about a study. It was July, I don't know if it's called, to answer this. The status of Bedford and North High Driver. Just curious.
The status of Medford is we submitted a proposal to Medford. Medford has submitted an informal response back to us from their attorney. They have not taken any formal action, to my knowledge, at this time. Mount Holly, I toured the facility and I spoke with an individual who runs it, and they have given us some materials about the status of the building, and we're going to be having further discussions.
Second, the question is a property or maybe average that's a parking lot that's only by the county. But this is like to stay as a parking lot, or you could it's like last year.
What street is it, sir?
Mayfair Avenue.
That is going to stay as a parking lot.
It's going to stay as a parking lot. Have funny question, went into the station, gave me the email, then I became an application for the social service meeting, like technically do that. I hope you received it, I mean, like I said, do it may not have to be Saturday. Like I said, that trust will be 8, just clarify that. And I do enjoy coming here before the every meeting. And I think residents are going to try to tell them to send a group at part one, and I appreciate it. I know that at least 16 different people. And like I said, I'm very involved. I've been part of my highly great team. And I hope everybody enjoyed to come to the St. Patrick's Day on this Saturday in the 5K run. You do not receive the email, just clarify. I was going to put, you there to see your resume. You resend it. I appreciate it. So like we will see, I've never, especially so handle cases. I will speak English or Spanish. And I appreciate it.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Hearing on close this portion to the public and move on to freeholder comments. Freeholder Schwartz.
I just wanted to make a comment that I met today. I had the opportunity to meet with Warden Artis and a group that is putting in a bid for healthcare services for Christmas. And I was very impressed with, once again, with the warden and his staff, and I feel very comfortable that they're doing an excellent job and working very hard to provide the best possible healthcare services to the unfortunate people who end up with our prison system. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Freeholder Schwartz. Member Belton.
Okay, I'm going to try to keep it short.
You've got a train, that's
No, I was going to try to keep it short anyway. I just wanted to mention that this past weekend I had the honor, along with Director Donnelly, to be a part of presenting the proclamation to the Relay for Life, American Cancer Society's Relay for Life rally that is held at Morristown Mall. I've been involved with the American Cancer Society and the Relay for Life events throughout South Jersey for a very long time. The proclamation that was presented by the Freeholder Board was declaring May 1st Paint the County Purple Day in recognition of the great work that the Relay for Life and the American Cancer Society do throughout South Jersey. So if you happen to be out and around on May 1st and you see, like in Delran, where they've been decorating their houses in purple each May 1st, or in Medford, where they put up bows and signs in recognition of the Relay for Life. We have some pretty preeminent Relay for Life events here in South Jersey. It's actually the largest nonprofit fundraiser around the country. We started over 25 years ago at high school tracks and parks throughout the country, where folks take turns walking around the track at night, raising millions and millions of dollars in the fight against cancer. So it really is a great program, and I think this was a really nice way for the county to recognize some of the fabulous work that's being done to fight cancer here in South Jersey. Additionally, I had the honor to present this year's Burlington County St. Patrick's Day Parade Grand Marshal, a proclamation this past Sunday night. As Lewis mentioned, the St. Patrick's Day Parade will be this weekend. It's Saturday, beginning at 1 o'clock on High Street, and prior to that, there is a 5K run that will benefit Mount Holly Recreation. So hopefully, you can don some green and come on out and enjoy those great events. Additionally, there is a benefit for the St. Patrick's Day Parade tonight at the High Street Thrill in Mount Holly. So if you're not doing anything after the meeting, feel free to stop over to that. And finally, on Friday, I'll be honored to be a part of the Read Across America celebration. I think Freeholder Donnelly participated in one as well. I'll be at Chesterfield Elementary School, and I would like to thank the Burlington County Education Association for inviting me to be a part of that. I know that reading has been a big part of my life and my children's lives, and to actually have a day in recognition, or multiple days in recognition of it, I think it's a great way for us to get out and be a part of the community and promote reading to youth throughout the county. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Freeholder Belgard. Freeholder Howard.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. And I just wanted to mention last Tuesday we had the opportunity to attend a ceremony at BCC. We was partnering with the Joint Base about allowing to have their military personnel remain as far as in resident status to be able to take courses up there. So it was pretty exciting. It was right down there on my street, Culinary School. And also attended Easham's Rotary Breakfast this past Sunday. Great turnout, second year. All the money goes to the Easham Fire Rescue, Police, and Fire Department. So that was awesome at the time. So that's about it.
Thank you, Freeholder Howard.
Good evening, thank you for being here, and myself and Freeholder Donnelly and Freeholder Howard, we all had the honor to attend the 200 Club's recognition of EMS, first responders, firefighters, and police last Friday evening. And there were some very brave and courageous individuals honored that evening, including firefighters from Florence who responded to a house fire this past year and received a Valor Award. And it's very moving to be there and to see individuals recognized for their lifelong public service of giving up their time, risking their physical selves in the efforts to save others. And it was a very encouraging evening. It was great to see three young students who received scholarships towards college who have an interest in public service as well. So that it was an honor. Those are the kind of evenings you enjoy being able to be a part of as an elected official, because from where we sit, these are the individuals who are the first responders, are the real public servants.
That's enough. It's down to me. Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. First, Mr. Milan, is a piece of housekeeping. The library is open until 9 o'clock, Monday through Friday, currently.
And we extended.
I don't know if we're going to extend much beyond 9 o'clock. That's how we start getting them overtime issues. But, and they have to go to school. You're talking about 13-year-old kids when they come in here. They should be going to school.
It's 13 to 20 and a half. If it's 21, they can't go and go to bars. I mean,
are you saying that's the choice? Either go to the tap room or go to the library? You never have to go to the dance at church or something.
I like to keep it out of jail. I prefer to see, pay for them to go there.
Well, clearly we would agree with you. I mean, because you made a reference earlier that I thought was interesting. You said, $100 a day. Those days are long since passed. It's much more than $100 a day.
I know.
To incarcerate someone at this point in time.
That's what I said.
Thank you. Today, many of you have probably read on, I think it was Monday the 25th, the article about the Underground Railroad Educational Facility in Burlington City, and the fact that they, for lack of a better term, lost their lease and lost their place to occupy. Today I had staff and I reached out to Burlington County College to see if there was a way that in fact we could help, and there is. Burlington County College has offered Ms. Callaway space at the College Center in Willingboro Township, so they'll be able to occupy that space hopefully very soon. one of the reasons I wanted to reach out to the college was this is a great resource, quite frankly. It's a great educational resource. This can bring folks from around the county, but more specifically around the state. The school students will have the opportunity to see this. The facilities at the college in Willingboro are very, very strong to support this. The Underground Railroad is a very important thing here in Burlington County. It had a big history here. I was talking to someone earlier today. I remember being a child going into my house and seeing Winston was part of the Underground Railroad program. So I was very happy that that the college is able to work with Underground Railroad Educational Center and pull this together. So hopefully we'll have better news to report in the next 2 weeks that in fact they are up, operational, and ready to go. With regard to the folks from BCIT, thank you for being here. Clearly, we do not negotiate with you. That is the Board of Education for BCIT. I will talk to the folks on the board and see what the stalemates are and see what the issues are. I do not know what they are, but I just want to make it clear that, in fact, we are not the negotiating body with your Teachers Association. And lastly, I want to comment a little bit further on something Freeholder Howard had said. We did last week have the opportunity to go over to Burlington County College, and it's a program that we're partnering with them on. Specifically what it is, if you are a deployed soldier, Marine, Airman, Guardsman, you are considered in county for tuition. Traditionally, you were out of county. Actually, you were out of state if in fact you were deployed. I mean, it sounds quite silly if you think about it. Also, if you live in Texas, but you are stationed at Joint Base McGuire Dix Lakehurst, you will be considered in county. So, it's a small way that we can repay the great sacrifices that our military folks are making on our behalf. And, I was really satisfied when the college approached me with the concept of doing this. So, it's a win-win for everyone. At this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Freeholder Howard. Second by Freeholder Belgar. It's got to be to adjourn. All in favor, so indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? You're not going to make